Good day, we are Group 9 from 22A, and this video is the presentation on our cross-cultural management group assignment. I'm Mindy, and here is the list of our group members. The Republic of Italy is the country for this group assignment. Italy is a country located in southern Europe with a significant Mediterranean coastline and often described as boot-shaped. There are 20 regions in Italy. For example, Lombardy in the northern part with its capital Milan, and Lazio is the central Italian region with its capital Rome. There are differences between Italians from different regions such as their attitude, local cultures, and lifestyle. Italy had around 59 million of population in 2022, and the country's official language is Italian. Although the country does not have an official religion, Roman Catholicism is the majority religion in the country. The country is a member of the European Union and uses euro as their official currency. Furthermore, the country is governed by a prime minister and a president under a parliamentary republic government system. Italy has a highly social market economy. The economy is varied and divided. In the northern area, the industry is mostly privately owned and wealthy, while in the southern part are heavily subsidized, undeveloped, and highly unemployed. Furthermore, their corporate culture is hierarchical, flexible, and appealing. And its workplace culture is both committed and people-oriented. For example, most decisions are made by top management, but employees are open to discuss and give feedback during the meetings. In addition, Italy has a high work-life balance according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Italy has a 50 score of PDI, which implies that Italian favors equality and decentralization of power. Furthermore, Italy scores 75 in UAI, which indicate that Italians do not generally feel comfortable in uncertain situations. They prefer formally.
Good day everyone, my name is XIAO. Today I'm delighted to present about a charming journey through Italy's rich and storied history. From the magnificent Roman Empire to the artistic brilliance of the Renaissance and the enduring influence of the Roman Catholic Church, Italy's past has left an indelible imprint on its culture and the wider Western civilization. Our first stop takes us back to the majestic of the Roman Empire, where Italy served as its heartland. The Romans, with their political, military, and culture authority centered in Rome, influenced Western cultures like no other civilization. Their iconic structures such as Colosseum, aqueducts, and roadways are the testament to their engineering marvels. Even today, Roman road literature and architecture continue to shape our modern civilization. Moving forward in time, we are arrived at the Renaissance, a period of remarkable culture and creative achievement that began in 14th century Italy and spread throughout Europe. Italian artists and philosophers such as Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael, and make profound contributes to various fields including arts, sculptures, architecture, and scientific discoveries. The city of Florence, Venice, and Rome serve as deep center of innovation and artist custom. The competitive spirit among the Italian cities stemmed from advancement in art, knowledge, and architecture, leaving a lasting legacy that still inspire us today. Our next slide focuses on the previous influence of the Roman Catholic Church. Throughout Italian history, Vatican City, a separate city-state within Rome, stands as the spiritual and administrative headquarters of the Catholic Church. The popes, cardinals, and religious community have played significant roles in Italian politics, arts, and culture. In here that we found iconic examples of religious art and architects such as St. Peter Basilica and the Sistine Chapel. This masterpiece stands as eternal testament to the church's enduring impact on Italian and Western culture. Next is family structure. It begins with the understanding that the traditional family structure in Italy extends beyond the nuclear units. Italian families embrace an extended family structure, including close relatives. Living in close proximity, they maintain strong bonds and foster a sense of togetherness. Family reunions and events are cherished, creating opportunities for shared experience and fostering a strong sense of community. Respect for elders and loyalty is deeply invested in Italian culture. Older family members are highly revered for their wisdom and life experience. Their opinion and advice hold great significance within the family units. Loyalty extends beyond immediate family members, encompassing extended family and even close understandings. The commitment to support and protect one another is a fundamental value cherished by Italians. Next, we will focus on the deep tapestry of Italian cuisine. From north to south, each region has its distinct culinary specialties, yet there are common elements that unite Italian food. Italian cuisine embraces a wide variety of dishes with pasta, pizza, olive oil, wine, and a dedication to fresh, high-quality ingredients at its core. The use of these ingredients promotes a flavor and creates delightful culinary experience. Mealtimes hold great social significance in Italian culture. It serves as a cherished occasion to bring family and friends together, fostering a sense of togetherness and enjoyment. The act of sharing a meal is deeply ingrained in the Italian way of life. The culinary tradition of Italian vary by region, with each area showcasing its own unique recipe and ingredient. In northern Italy, you will find delectable dishes like risotto, creamy polenta, and luxury meats creation. Central Italy delight with strong soup, dura pasta, and an exhibition of cured meats. As we move south, fresh seafood, energetic citrus flavor, and multilateral ingredients take the center stage. For the vision of Italian printing has a profound legacy spanning distinct at this period. For the Renaissance to the Baroque and Venice school, each period showcased unique styles, techniques, and masterpieces. For the Renaissance, a period of culture and intellectual achievement flourished in Italy from the 14th century to 17th centuries. Artists like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci make remarkable contributions to painting, sculpture, and focus. Their works such as the Sistine Chapel ceiling, the Mona Lisa, and the Last Supper are celebrated as masterpieces of this area. For the Venetian school of painting brought a distinct artist movement to Venice. Artists like Tintorito, and Veronese assist in the use of vibrant color, powerful brushstroke, and breathtaking description of landscape, portraits, and religious scenes. Their works showcase a unique blend of beauty, light, and atmosphere. Besides, the key character of Italian visual art, which is warm color and skilled use of light and hallmarks of Italian printing. Religious subjects were frequently depicted, reflecting the influence of Catholic Church. Last but not least, for the Italian architecture encompass various styles including Byzantine, Renaissance, Gothic, and ancient Roman and Baroque. The architect's wonders of ancient Rome, such as Colosseum and the Pantheon, showcase grand monuments, arches, and innovative use of concrete. Italy is also home to stunning examples of Byzantine and Gothic architecture. The Duomo in Milan and St. Mark Basilica in Venice exhibit intricate spirit sculpture, mosaic, and Byzantine decorations. Gothic architecture spread across Europe, and notable examples include Notre Dame Central, Milan Central, Cologne Central, Westminster Central, and Notre Dame in Paris. The Renaissance period, when architects such as Brunelleschi and Palladio played significant roles. They reveal classical architecture principles highlighting balance, control, and a return to ancient Greek and Roman order. That's all from me. Now I will pass it to next person to continue the presentation. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I will continue the design and fashion in Italy. Italy and Titan fashion stand proudly alongside renowned nations like France, the US, and the UK. Italian fashion has played a significant role in shaping society and culture for centuries. From the 11th to the 16th centuries, Italian fashion thrived with cities like Rome, Venice, Milan, and Naples become synonymous with style and elegance. French fashion later took the spotlight, but Italy's status was revived by Giovanni Battista Giorgio's Florence Fashion Gala. Today's Milan and Rome are recognized as global fashion capitals. Italian fashion and manufacturing are renowned for originality, craftsmanship, and excellence in textiles. The Camera Nazionale della Moda Italians promote prestigious fashion events to advance the industry. Italians' design during the Renaissance emphasized exquisite craftsmanship, attention to details, and balanced proportions. Italy's significance influenced the modernist movement, with designers like Joe Ponti, Ettore Sousa, and Archie Cartigioli leading the waves. Italian fashion houses like Gucci, Prada, and Armani are known for their craftsmanship and luxury. Italy is also famous for producing high-end furniture, lighting, and home decors, with brands like Alessi and Cartel gaining international popularity. Next, region Italy is primarily dominated by Catholicism, with approximately 90% of Italians identifying as Catholics. However, there's also a diverse religious landscape in the country, with other faiths as Protestantism, Orthodoxy, Judaism, Islam, and Buddhism making up the remaining 10%. Religious Italy has a significant impact on various aspects of society, including politics, culture, and education. The country is home to numerous religious institutions and is the spiritual center of the Catholic Church located in Rome. Italy has a rich religious history, playing the central role in Christendom during the Middle Age. The Italian churches are renowned for its historical and beautiful design. Religions in Italy serve as the source of inspirations for literature, sculptures, and art. And religious symbols such as icons of the Virgin Mary, the Pope saints, and even football players can be commonly seen in public and private space. Overall, religion in Italy is an integral part of the nation's identity and countries to shape the culture and society fabric.
Firstly, the local patriotism of Italian. Unlike other European nations, Italy's independent states took a very long time to unite, and it has only been a republic since 1946. Italians are rather patriotic. This doesn't mean that they lack patriotism. In fact, while they are abroad, Italians tend to experience the strongest sense of their national identity. However, the public is not generally motivated by nationalism. Instead, it is frequently swept away by the campanilismo mentality. Next, reputation. The reputation of a person is highly valued in Italian society. It serves as an approach to providing possibilities and is seen as reflecting their family and background. Culture places a high value on a person's appearance and behavior, which is consistent with the value placed on reputation. This might cause people to become very materialistic. Italians usually take great effort to make sure that their clothing is suited for the situation. This involves dressing stylishly and showcasing expensive belongings for the upper class. Members of the middle and lower classes often wear less unique apparel, but they still maintain a neat look and a sophisticated demeanor. Moving on to the family life in Italy. In Italian culture, the family comes first in everything. It provides the individual with monetary and mental assistance, and it typically forms the basis of their social lives. In general, Italian parents exercise considerable control over their children throughout their teenage years. Hence, Italy has one of the highest average ages at which children move out of the residence of their parents in all of Europe. Italy is legally a neutral state on religious affairs. Meanwhile, the Roman Catholic tradition has a considerable effect on this nation's religious and social atmosphere. Italy has been united by the Roman Catholicism, and the general public may still notice its effect on society. There are numerous monasteries throughout the nation, including over 900 churches in Rome. With only the exceptions of the Philippines and Ireland, the majority of Orthodox and Roman Catholic nations achieve excellent scores in avoiding uncertainty. Italians usually use direct language while communicating. They communicate passionately to establish their arguments and usually express their emotions honestly. They typically expect that the other person in the conversation will be as honest, which makes it challenging for them to spot the understatements. Additionally, Italians are typically outgoing, curious, and daring. They could be delighted to provide their opinions or suggestions regarding your endeavor. Not only that, but Italians also tend to be affectionate and sentimental. Italians are more expressive in their body language, facial emotions, and vocal intensities, and they regularly employ hand gestures to underline their views. For art and architecture in Italy, since it contains many of the most famous works of art and architecture, Italian art has historically been the centerpiece of the world history. Its creators, craft institutions, and initiatives have always had a tight relationship with the philosophical and theological current, expressing the thoughts of the day and leaving a remarkable and unending heritage. While appreciating the value and significance of its traditions, Italy, a nation where life itself is viewed as an artistic work, strives to enrich and broaden both its own unique culture and those of other nations of the world. Next, Italians view food and cookery as both forms of art and not only a commodity to be consumed. Italian cuisines have a rich history of blending flavors and preserving centuries of culture. By handling down their ancestors' recipe,
People demonstrate gratitude and admiration for their history by preserving its tradition and roots. The transformation of Italian food has parallel alteration to its roots. Their cuisine is equally as varied as their history. They are now incredibly varied and delicious cuisine has been shaped throughout the ages by battles, cultural changes, and connections. Italy is separated into regions, and each region has its own distinct preference and cooking techniques. Furthermore, Italian fashion industry models are substantially different from those of other countries, which contributes significantly to Italy's success as a center for contemporary fashion. In Italy, fashion designers are viewed more as competent professionals within a business framework than as an artist. Italian designers tend to be very meticulous since they do not feel at ease in ambiguous situations. Designers believe that the Italian look is built on inspiration, study, and improvisation. Finally, when doing business in Italy, Italians frequently express skepticism towards those in position of power, but they anticipate distinction and formality in titles and ranks. They have a higher regard for those in position of power and think that these individuals know better since they have greater control. Interpersonal relationship has considerable significance in Italian corporate culture. Italians prefer clear conditions and well-planned processes. They prefer doing business with individuals they are acquainted with, so having contacts through a third party might be helpful. Breaking verbal promises may be risky for business partnerships since they are often built on trust.
I will continue to the historical analysis. Italy is a country full of history and culture. There are several historical events that have impacted Italian culture and the world. The ancient Roman Colosseum and aqueduct has influenced modern sport arenas, supermarkets, and apartment buildings. Furthermore, the Latin language has provided a foundation for Italian language, literature, law, and academia. Roman law also has been in reference for many countries' laws and concepts. The Renaissance is described as a passionate rebirth in its political, artistic, cultural, and financial sectors. The origin of Renaissance is the Italian cities of Florence, where the Medici family and other wealthy locals could afford to support young artists. It promotes art development, scientific and innovation discovery in astronomy, ergonomics, and many more. Furthermore, Italians' architecture, culture, and religious practice, arts festival, and custom has also been influenced by the Roman Church. However, humanism concept led many Europeans to disagree with the Church stand during the Renaissance. As a result, a new branch of Christianity known as Protestantism was created. Next, King Victor Emmanuel II merged the state to become one nation state in 1861, which is called the unification of Italy. It is believed that Napoleon's invasion gave Italians a sense of the liberalism and nationalism of the French Revolution, which made Italians realize that they do not favor power and they wanted equality and decentralization of power. Italy joined World War I as the Allies' power to protect their possessions on the borders land with Austria-Hungary. Italy's involvement in World War I has caused a significant loss and human suffering. However, the war also further encouraged modernization and cultural rejuvenation. Women are empowered in the workplace due to lack of man labor in the market, which also promote gender equality at that time. 3 years of political and economic instability after World War I resulted in the establishment of the fascist leader Benito Mussolini's governance in 1922. The dictatorship under fascist leaders caused an external transformation in Italian society in terms of family, the economy, education, and leisure activities. It had impacted the economy and caused a loss of basic human rights. Then, Italy colonized Ethiopia in 1935 until South African and British soldiers participated in World War II, which freed the nation from Italy. Italy joined World War II in 1940, allied with Germany and Japan, which left Italy with a damaged economy, a fractured society, and resentment toward the monarchy for its 20-year support of the fascist dictatorship. However, Italy self-sufficient through the war, and they became more agile, nationalism, and proud of their traditions. The Italian Republic was established in 1946, following the end of World War II, and the Italian constitution was established in 1948 that represent democracy. Furthermore, Italy became a member of the United Nations in 1955. Italy helps to advance the goal of the organizations, including maintaining international peace and security, improving human rights, and promoting sustainable development. The signing of the Treaty of Rome in 1957 marked a significant turning point in the history of Europe. It is the foundation of the European Union, and it also provided peace and stability and set the way for prosperity and economic progress. Next, the terrible assassinations of Aldo Moro, who was former Prime Minister in Italy in 1976, shook the nation, which has led to a political crisis and an instability in Italian society. It emphasized that the necessity for a strong democracy and the rule of law, as well as the difficulties posed by terrorism and political polarizations to the Italians. Lastly, the 1990s FIFA World Cup, which was hosted in Italy, was a momentous event that drew nations from all over the world together in a celebration of football. Football has a special place in the Italian society. They view the elite as national heroes. Besides, football became the topic of conversation in Italians' daily life. That's all from me.
Hi everyone, I'm Tim Pei. Now I'm going to present about national cultural identities. There were about 60.2 million people living in Italy. North Africa Arabs, Italian Albania, Germans, Austrian, and a few other Europeans make up the remaining population. Italian culture were affected by neighboring nations to the north, including France, Switzerland, Austria, and Slovenia, as well as the Mediterranean island of Sardinia and Sicily. Italian is the official language of the nation. Italian is the primary language of almost 93% of Italians. Sardinia, Friulans, Neapolitans, Sicilian, Ligurians, Piemontese, Venetians, and Calabrians are only a few of variety of the country's official language. Milan is home to the Milanese language. Albania, Bavarians, Catalans, Serbians, Corsicans, Croatians, French, German, Greeks, Slovenia, and Wales are almost the additional language that native Italian speaks. Roman Catholicism is the dominant religion in Italy. This is not unexpected considering that Vatican City in the center of Rome is where the Pope resides and where Roman Catholicism is headquartered. Although only a third of the population is Roman Catholics, Christians in general make approximately 80% of the population. The nation also boasts a sizable immigrant Muslim population. Muslim, agnostic, and atheist make up the remaining 20% of the population. Italy was the center of Christian world in the Middle Ages and is still the seat of the Holy See of the World Catholic Church. Churches are spread all over Italy. In history, the region has a profound impact on Italy. Italian nature's sense of balance can properly combine ideals and reality, so embody metaphysics. The Renaissance, Baroque, and neoclassical architectural movement all originate in Italy. The Colosseum and the Leaning Tower of Pisa are just two of the world's most renowned structures that may be seen in Italy. Italy gave birth to the idea of cathedral, which were first used to describe a public courthouse that later turned into a Catholic pilgrimage center. The brilliant classical art traditions make Italy a real art sanctuary and also make art integrate into the life of Italians and become the spiritual pursuit of the whole Italy. Appreciating operas in solemn attire and tasting famous painting, piety and professionally has long been a part of Italian life. The spiritual pursuit of the Italians is not only reflected in this, but also in the quality of style of clothing, the quality leisures of life, and the creativity and imagination of appreciating works. Italian cuisines vary depending on the locations. For instance, the majority of Italian cuisine consumed in the United States, including pasta and pizza, originate in central Italy. The northern Italy, the most frequently used ingredients are fish, potato, rice, sausage, and various kinds of cheese. All varieties of pasta, polenta, and risotto are popular, as is pasta with tomatoes in southern cuisines. Fresh and cooked in sauces, tomatoes are main ingredients. Italian culture also places a high value on wine, and the nation is home to some of the world's most renowned wineries. In a cave on the southwest coast near Sicily, the earliest indications of wine have just been found. Italy is located on the southern European peninsula. the sunny climate all year round, and the prosperous commercial trade connecting the East and the West give birth to the bold, hearty, optimistic, and enthusiastic character of the Italians, and the attitudes toward life that uphold advocates freedom and full enjoyment. Italians are very friendly, hospitable, and humane. Italian regards communication with people as an important part of the social life, which reflect the maintenance and affirmations of urban life since the Renaissance, as well as opposition to the aesthetic practice of the church. When tourists from all over the world marvel at the awesome power of great Italian arts, Italians are also most proud of it. They have reason to be proud because 40% of the world's greatest artworks are on their land. Italians are well aware that these artistic treasures are part of their national soul, and brilliant artistic achievements have become the glue that united the national consciousness of Italians. The tone of meeting is generally less formal than in countries such as Germany and Russia, where interpersonal relationships can sometimes lead to confusions and heated discussions. Italian businesses are often reserved about information from strangers, preferring to engage in verbal conversations with people they know well.
Good day everyone, my name is Jing. I present the National Cultural Analysis. Italy's most significant feature of their national culture is the geographical division between northern and southern Italy. Northern is the industrialized region that includes cities such as Milan, Florence, and Rome, while southern is more traditional compared to the northern. This region includes Naples, Bari, and Sicily. The differences in culture between regions are because of their geographical location. Northern is known for its rough and mountainous landscape, which has a lot of mineral resources. It also has a lot of land that is suitable for the livestock farming industry. On the other side, the southern region is bordered by the Mediterranean Sea and is easily identified by its extensive coastline. Due to the hot summers and mild winters, the climate in the south is ideal for the development of agriculture industry. Other than the geography factor, the cultural difference between regions is because of the historical migrant of ethnic groups. In the past, southern Italy was dominated by the Spanish, Arabs, and Greeks, while northern Italy was governed by the Germans and French. Therefore, the cultures and the customs of both regions have been significantly affected by these nations. In northern Italy, their society prefers equality among subordinates and have an open management style, while the high power distance is considered normal in southern Italy. The difference in power distance between these two regions is because of the population in northern is mostly made up of younger generations that strive for decentralization of power and equality. Since the southern region is more traditional than the northern region, they usually agree that their leader is trustworthy and will avoid disagreement with their leader. The decision-making process is centralized and the final decision is made up by the upper management. The subordinates are also not allowed to address their upper management by their first name, but they are instructed to use sir or madam before the last name. Most Italian people feel uncomfortable in unclear circumstances. Formality is important in their daily activities and business operations, hence a detailed preparation is required. The Italian companies have created a lot of complicated and detailed regulations. They will place a higher value on safety and security in the workplace, and the subordinates are more inclined to work for the same company in a longer duration. Most of its citizens will avoid taking risks by prioritizing close friends over strangers. The Italians people usually prefer conducting business with someone they know and trust. After the first conversation, they tend to communicate face to face instead of by phone or email. Although Italian is the country's official language, the people in both North and South regions are still using different distinct dialects. The accents and pronunciation will differ widely between these two regions. In the North region, Lombardic is used in Milan, Venetian in Venice, and Ligurian in Genoa. People of the southern region prefer dialects like Neapolitan, Sicilian, and Calabrian. Until now, there are still some citizens use dialects as their native language and difficult to converse with standard Italian. However, Italian is still a widely spoken language in both regions. People are typically more formal and business-oriented in the north due to the development of its major cities. Most of them are known as being busy and will be more concerned with the working productivity. On the other side, people are usually peaceful in the south. They're more willing to enjoy their life rather than become workaholics. The pace of life is slow and the citizens prefer a family-oriented lifestyle. The people in the south are also considerably more friendly and welcoming compared to the north region. The northern region is the most wealthy and industrialized region of the country. The manufacturing and industrial sectors are growing rapidly in the northern area of Italy. Hence, the northern region is frequently regarded as the nation's economic powerhouse and provides a high-skilled workforce. In contrast, southern Italy is often considered to have a weak economy and high employment rates compared to northern. This is due to their heavy reliance on the agricultural and tourism industry. It is challenging to gain competitiveness for southern region in economic development due to a lack of infrastructure and industrial investment.
For international norms and practices, there are assumptions on what represent proper behavior shown by a community and can be formed regionally and internationally. There are many foreign relations of Italy with NATO countries such as Canada and France, African countries like Egypt and South Africa, Asian countries like India and Malaysia, Americas like Brazil and Mexico, and EU states like Finland and Netherlands. There are many daily life and social customs in Italy. For basic etiquette, Italians respect their elders. They will stand to greet elders they meet and open doors for them. They greet family and friends with a kiss to the cheek, and they greet strangers with a handshake. Guests are also expected to bring gifts like flowers and chocolate and compliment the host's food and the food provided. Also, the guest only eats after the host has sat down and indicated the start of the meal. Before eating, they will pray, and while eating, they do not rest their elbows or arms on the table. For wrapping gifts, Italians avoid colors such as black and purple because they represent death and bad luck. Yellow flowers also represent jealousy. For business etiquette, it is important to make a lasting first impression on Italians. They also prefer doing business with people they trust, so a third-party introduction will be useful in providing an initial platform for business owners to meet and discuss business. They respect people with power, and while working, men wear conservative business suits, while women should wear business suits or conservative dresses. Italy's legal framework. The country is a parliamentary republic, and it operates under a parliamentary system of government. The government gains legitimacy from the parliament, and the head of state is elected by the parliament and region delegates. The prime minister is dependent on the president after consulting with the parliament. The bicameral parliament consists of the Chamber of Deputies and the Senate, and the legislative powers are vested in compliance with the constitution. For rights in Italy, first is environmental rights. The country has made protecting the environment as part of the constitution, and the law commands the state to protect the environment, natural ecosystems, and biodiversity. The country has also banned large cruise ships from entering Venice city centre to prevent pollution. For human rights, Italy is part of the Hague Conventions and the Geneva Conventions, which establishes international legal standards for humane treatment in war. Italy has also joined the Antigone Association, that protects individual civil rights and guarantee the effectiveness of the penal system, and also No Peace Without Justice, which deals with international crimes and ensures freedom and human rights. The law condemns acts of unjustifiable or politically motivated killings and prohibits torture, inhuman treatment, punishment, and abuse. The Constitution respects civil liberties and provides freedom of expression for every individual, as well as give the freedom of peaceful assembly, freedom of religion, and the freedom to leave the country for travel or other reasons. For refugee rights, the law provides individuals with refugee status and protects them. They also provide refugees with temporary protection of 1 year, with food, accommodation, healthcare, education, and financial assistance. For human rights, the country aims to eliminate all forms of discrimination against women. Women also have the same rights as men in relations to family, religion, personal status, labor, employment, property, inheritance, and access to credit. The law punishes convicted perpetrators of rape and physical abuse of women, such as domestic abuse and sexual violence, and Italy promotes gender equality and female empowerment. For children's rights, the legal age in Italy is 18 years old, and the law condemns child abuse and sexual exploitation of children. For LGBT rights, Italy does not criminalize consensual same-sex sexual conduct between adults, and advocates the rights of LGBT persons, as well as condemning violence, discrimination, and hate speech against them. For worker rights, the law condemns exploitation of workers and discrimination based on race, religion, gender, age, and sexual orientation. Italy also prohibits forced or compulsory labor, including illegally employed workers who are given sub-minimum wages but work long hours. Workers in Italy can join independent unions and start legal strikes. It is compulsory for women to take maternity leave in Italy, and women cannot be dismissed from their roles from the start of pregnancy to 1 year after giving birth. Child labor is prohibited in Italy, and minors are only allowed to work for 8 hours a day and 40 hours a week. Lastly, for anti-Semitism law, the law punishes the display of fascist or Nazi imagery and protects ethnic minorities from discrimination and violence.
I will continue the recommendations. To enhance cross-cultural management education, language management is the key. Learning a foreign language always starts with understanding the related cultures, including their attitudes, beliefs, rituals, and traditions. And common language could break down cultural barriers and improve effective communication. Next, diversity training. Diversity training is a design program that can improve cross-cultural competency. It helps educate people on awareness around diversity issues, such as issues faced by underrepresented minorities, discourage unconscious cultural bias and discrimination, and gain a deeper understanding of a certain society in terms of their behaviors and emotion. For example, Italians have different attitude towards time. Punctuality is not so important, and little delays to them are not seen as a show of disrespect. Other than learning and training, addressing cross-cultural conflicts could also enhance cross-cultural management education. There are definitely differences among people who come from different cultural backgrounds. It is important to address the conflicts and dispute by understanding the root causes and implement changes. It is also important to promote open communication among each other. Through open communication, managers could foster meaningful connection between diverse teams. For instance, Italians always prefer to build personal relationships when working together. Lastly, team building such as icebreaker activities can improve cross-cultural management education. These activities can be used to promote casual, enjoyable talks or engagement that will improve teamwork and collaboration in the team. That's all from me, thank you.
Italy's cultural background is a tapestry movement with influenced histories, renowned cuisines, artistics, contributions, regional difference, a strong sense of history, and a central role of families. Italy's heritage has a significant impact on global cultures and the country's economies. From the Roman empires to the Renaissance, Italy's rich history and traditional shapes its society. The Italians take immense pride in the cultural heritage, cherishing family ties and upholding value of loyalty and respect. Italian's cuisine is famous worldwide for its variety, fresh ingredients, and the importance of sharing meals. Italy's artists' contributions has given the few legendary artists and architects living an indelible mark of the cultural landscape. Regions difference across Italy reflects in dialects, customs, and cuisines. The Italians have a strong sense of histories, appreciations for aesthetics, and deep connections with their traditions. Families play a central role, providing support and love. Italy's diverse populations, including immigrants and different regions, contributes to its cultural richness. The country's artistic and architectural heritage from the Renaissance to the Baroque is also inspiring. Italy emphasizes the intercultural management educations, promoting language proficiency, diversity trainings, conflict resolutions, open communications, and team building activity. That's all from us. Thank you.